So we got playing games.
Mm-hmm.
We got. Do we want to start with the East or the West?
Let's start with the East.
Okay, Miami, Philly.
I got Philly.
I think I have Philly too.
Kobe, who you got?
Oh, Philly.
Okay. And then we got Atlanta, Chicago. I got Chicago.
I got Atlanta.
Kobe?
Chicago.
Chicago? Okay. And then in the West, we got Pelicans, Lakers.
Lakers.
Yeah, I'll go Lakers.
And I'm definitely being reactionary because I just saw the Pelicans fold in a very, very high level situation. So I'm going.
It would be really funny to see the Pelicans win this game off fluky shooting, and then the Lakers upset the Thunder in the first round. But I think Lakers win it. Who do you think, Kobe?
Lakers.
Okay. And then Warriors, Kings. I got
Sac this year.
I got Sacramento.
Yeah, the dysfunction. Give me Sac.
Okay.
It's only one game, but Steph one game against the Kings though. I don't know. I've been outvoted.
Sacramento, New Orleans. I got New Orleans.
Yeah, I'll go Pelicans there.
Okay, and then Chicago, Miami. I got Miami.
As much as I want Chicago to get rid of them, it's Miami for me.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Kobe, you agree?
Yeah, I agree.
All right. Round one.
Oh, wow. It's about to get ugly.
Y'all want to start in the East or the West?
East.
Okay. Boston, Miami.
Boston.
Heat in
I got
6.
Boston.
No, I got Boston.
I got Boston in 6.
Oh, you actually get to choose the games. Boston at 5. I got Boston at 5.
Kobe?
Yeah, I say Boston at 5.
Okay. Orlando, Cleveland. I got Magic in 5.
Oh, Magic in 5?
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie.
I do not trust Cavs.
I'm going Cavs in 6.
I was gonna say I got Cavs in 7.
Okay.
I think this is gonna be a whole lot to ask of Magic in their first playoff run.
But just let me ask you this: who do you trust on the Cavs besides Donovan Mitchell?
I mean, it's not even necessarily that. It's the fact that this is the Magic's first go round, and I think the Cavs are gonna improve on some of the things that lost in that series last year against the Knicks. Obviously, Isaac Okoro's made some improvements this year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not trusting Max Strus, but he is a part of the team now. Got a little more spacing on that team.
I think he had a triple-double.
Yeah.
This is also why I need to see game 1 of this series because out the gate, we were talking about this last week. I said if I play Cleveland, I know Isaac Okoro shot like 40% from 3 this year, close.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still in a playoff setting, game 1, making him prove that because that's
okay.
That damn near crippled them against New York last year with him not being able to hit. So I'm making him prove that, and at least for one game.
I think that makes sense. We got Milwaukee, Indiana.
This is very situational because I don't.
Mm-hmm.
I'm taking Indy, and that's because a calf injury to a player like Giannis,
mm-hmm.
I don't even think he should be playing, honestly. That type of injury. So, with that being said, I'm taking Indy.
And how many games?
6.
Okay.
Yeah, this one it is. It's tough because we don't know when Giannis is. We don't have any information on when Giannis is playing right now.
Or how he's going to be.
Because, if he missed the first 2 games, I feel like Indy would win at least one of those. And probably both. But what do you say?
I think I'm assuming that Giannis misses the first game at least.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going with Indiana. Because also, Tyrese has been looking better recently, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, he definitely came back from where he was from the slump that he was in. It's not that bad anymore.
And I mean,
Yeah,
I think the big thing, obviously, with Milwaukee trading away Drew, we saw it throughout the
Mhm.
season. Like the perimeter defense has been horrible this year, and Giannis has been asked to do a
Mhm.
lot more on the defensive end, more than he's comfortable in sometimes. So
Yeah,
that's why I'm kind of leaning towards Indy.
yeah. Add on top of that, like, are you asking Malik Beasley to stop Tyrese?
Yeah, again.
You gonna have to.
Yeah,
Who else can put up there? Who else is Doc about to put up there?
yeah.
I mean, there is the go
Let's
out
also
there and
consider.
give it what you got, Pat Bev button. You know,
Let's also
there's
consider. They have Doc Rivers as their coach.
Yes, we haven't even talked about that yet. Yeah, 100%.
that's never a plus. It's never a plus.
So I'm going Indiana, I think.
I'm already outvoted, but just with the
Who are you
information we
taking away?
have, we assume Giannis is gonna. Let's just assume Giannis misses one game.
Yeah.
I would still pick Bucks in 7, but
Mhm.
I'm outvoted here, so y'all have Indy. Y'all have Indy.
Okay.
And I think this series could actually definitely go either way. Again, situational. We have zero clue. Just without Giannis,
Yeah.
it's so tough because I have no clue.
I just think in a what's it called, in a series where a player like Giannis is coming off a calf
Mhm.
injury, like I said before, I don't think he should even be considering coming back because I mean it's your calf, and like we said before, on the defensive end on a perimeter, they're getting blown by every time. Giannis is having to do way more than he should have to do or he's had to do in the past. So it's like that's just
Yeah.
not that's not something I'm comfortable with trusting in a playoff series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, Dame has been some ass recently. Like,
Yeah.
he has not been good.
Team has been lame. You had a golden opportunity. It was right there.
Yeah. But, like, he doesn't deserve puns at this point. He's too bad. But, like, I think if it goes 7, the Bucks win because I just trust Giannis in that case, I
Mhm.
think if Indiana's going to win, it's going to be in 6.
I'm sorry, I had to turn because they said AD back injury.
Okay.
Did he leave the game, chat? I'm gonna assume he left the game there by 20.
Mm-hmm. Do we
Hopefully
want
it's
to go
just
back and
precaution.
change some of our predictions?
Let's see. Hold on. Somebody posted the video in the chat right before. I mean, yeah, interesting. Hopefully he'll be all right. Yeah, I mean, you can go back to your screen, Asher. I can't click on it. Yeah, I mean, for the Bucks, I agree with Kobe because we haven't gotten any real information about Giannis's calf. They basically just told us, "Oh, we're gonna figure it out." And like, I've only seen it work out one time well so far with a calf injury right before the playoffs. That was Luka in 2022, and so and like Kobe said, Giannis is a power player too. So I don't know.
Also,
I'm really worried about that.
Yeah, and also if we think of players at his size, the last person to do that was KD.
I'm say it's like we said, it's a calf, bro. That doesn't go over too well.
Yeah.
Me and Dom had this conversation yesterday. We were talking about how Luka was going through it, but Luka's not the player that Giannis is. It's two different type of players.
So, anyways, Philly and New York then.
Yep, I think I'm leaning New York in like 6.
Yeah, I'd say so as well. I think New York in 6. I think it's the same thing kind of with the Bucks situation. I think it's asking a lot of Embiid to come back off an injury. I think the Knicks have just been better this year.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
also,
no, I'm not gonna pick against them. I got New York.
Yeah, and also, I genuinely think New York might be better without Julius Randle in the playoffs.
We are gonna find out.
Yeah.
Hey, yo, I was joking about GG Jackson, Asher. He actually had 44 and 12.
Yeah, but he also did it in on not great efficiency, I think. But that's still,
That's hilarious.
Yeah. Let's see.
Yeah, I'll go New York, especially I just saw Embiid limping the other day. He came back, but still he is also back on really short notice too. Yeah,
GG Jackson did it on 17 of 36 shooting.
Okay.
Okay.
So nearly 50%. Like actually basically 50%.
Yeah. It was like 45%. Like GG's good. I'm not trying to say he's not. All right. In the West, we got New Orleans, OKC.
OKC.
Yeah, I think it's OKC in like 6.
Yeah, like
I think
5 or
OKC in
6.
6.
Yeah,
I got
I
the
think
Thunder.
Herb Jones is good enough to give Shea some issues.
Okay, hold
But
on.
I think-
KJ said Thunder Pels can't happen, but we just did it through the bracket way. It can happen, can't it?
Yeah,
Yeah, it definitely can happen
yeah,
because
because
if they
they're
lose,
this 7
yeah,
seed.
if they
Yeah.
lose the first play-in game, they would be playing for 8th, and OKC is 1. So yeah.
Yeah. Second playing game. The fuck you mean second playing game?
Yeah, that's what he means. Like second.
I thought KJ said like second playing game. I was like, what do you?
I got OKC.
Yeah, I got OKC in like 6.
Oh, the fun
Dallas
one.
Clippers. I think this is arguably the best first round matchup as far as like, especially as far as narratives go.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Adam Silver is licking his chops.
Oh, buddy. So I'm gonna put my pick in as Dallas in 7. Is
Me
what I'm
too.
gonna do.
Okay.
I think Dallas in 7. I think honestly,
Oh, hold on. Time. Leaker said Kawhi not confirmed for game 1.
now that is interesting.
I
KJ,
think that is 6.
can you corroborate, KJ? That does make a difference. Like
Yeah.
Ty Lue said, yeah, okay, so it's the Ty Lue quote that I saw.
Okay.
Okay, so we just don't know. Either way, I'm still gonna put Dallas in 7. I think that's gonna be a crazy series.
Yeah, I'd say Dallas in 6, probably for similar reasons as like you guys, but
Well, what I was gonna say is crazy that the Kawhi thing came up because it's the same thing. I just trust not only the Mavs' health a little bit more than the Clippers, but
Mhm.
also like the Mavs have 2 guys who've been playing very well together this year, and Luka and Kyrie, who can turn on in the instant. The role players have been stepping up this year. Obviously, Tim Hardaway Jr. has been too well, but other than that, they've had some pretty good performances from role players. Getting Dan Gafford was good. And I think for the Clippers, I mean, I just think honestly, the thing that gets me is Harden. I'm not really worried about Kawhi. I think PG will do his thing. I think Harden is going to be the key to that series for the Clippers, and I just don't trust Harden, honestly, at this point in his career.
yeah.
I have Kawhi as the key for them, just especially knowing what he's done against the Mavs in the past. It's been a minute, but
I mean, yeah, I think honestly though, like I feel like Kawhi's gonna do what he does as long as he's healthy. I feel like Kawhi's gonna step up, do what he does, and I trust Kawhi a lot more than I do Harden at this age. But like, if Harden comes out and he's playing great, that really shifts the tide for the Clippers.
I will say though, in his last 20, James Harden is averaging 14 points, 9 assists on 38% from the field, 31% from 3, 87 from the line.
Because let's look at the matchups. Like, okay, so who's guarding Kawhi? So I'm assuming does Josh Green get the assignment?
PJ
Washington.
Yeah.
Then we throw Josh Green on Paul
PG.
George.
Yeah.
Who's guarding Harden?
I guess one of Kai or Luka.
Yeah.
So who's guarding Luka? I guess they're just gonna switch between Kawhi and PG.
And Kawhi, yeah.
They have options.
It's probably gonna be PG.
Yeah, I just really like what the Mavs have done too since the trade deadline, post All-Star. They got that roster. They got different lineups they can play than they had at the beginning, and they've just been cooking with it. But like I know the Clippers have terrible luck all the time. That's why I have it 7 though, because this being probably their last chance, I don't think they're gonna go down easy. But that's gonna be. I hope it actually lives up.
Yeah, it should be a good series. I hope it is. Then we got Minnesota and Phoenix.
Hey.
I'm gonna let Kobe go first.
So
Yeah,
honestly,
I'm gonna let Kobe go.
As unbiased as I can be, I'm going Phoenix in 6 or 7 because if you look at it, for one, Phoenix has played Minnesota very well this year. Minnesota, we know they're a team that like to be very aggressive defensively. We even seen in that last game like the blitz the pick and roll, out trap the ball handlers. And when you're playing a team like Phoenix that can space the floor so much and carry on a dribble penetration, and obviously Bradley Beal's been having some great games recently. that's just not a good matchup. You know, it's not a good
Mhm.
matchup for the way that Minnesota plays defense. And also, somebody said who guards Cat. Well, I think Cat is a double-edged sword for them. I think Cat coming back, it helps you in a sense, but it also like it hurts you as well. Um, I think integrating Cat back into the offense, you know, they might have some hurdles there, as well
Mhm.
as you know, defensively, Cat will be hunted. You know, he will be hunted.
Yeah.
Same thing with Gobert at certain times. That we were just having that conversation earlier. Gobert is gonna have to play a lot of perimeter defense when he's playing against the Suns, which is, we know
Mhm.
that's his weakness.
Yeah.
So
Like,
how many games you got Phoenix in?
I'm leaning towards 6, but I'll say 7.
okay.
Oh, what you
Dom?
got, Asher? Oh, you want me to go?
Yeah.
Man, this is a tough one because Phoenix they had been in struggle city a lot of the season, but
Hmm.
then like Minnesota now what are they 3-0 or 4-0 against them for the season? Because I
No.
saw that so the counting today is 3-0.
Hmm. Do you want me to look up the head-to-head like matchup stats real quick?
Oh no, you know they ain't got to do all
And
that.
no, I can tell
You
you
can
it
if you
hasn't been,
want.
it hasn't been pretty
Hmm.
as far as like they've blown the Wolves out for the majority.
Hmm.
Man, that is going to be interesting. This is what I hate about the West predictions. It's like
Yep.
go back to the playoff. Go scroll up real quick. So okay, the first one I handedly have the Thunder. I like what the
Yeah.
Pelicans have done, but I handedly have the Thunder. But then okay, Dallas feel like that can go either way. Minnesota feel like that can go either way. And then of course then you just have the sweep here or the 5
Hmm.
game series here. Okay,
Yeah.
it's not as bad as I thought. It's really just
But then you
okay.
get to the second round, and that gets a little more interesting.
Yeah. Hmm. You know the thing I'm struggling with is like I want to go Phoenix.
Mhm. Why?
I really am. Me and Kobe were talking about it the other night. I want to
Mhm.
see like in a playoff setting, and specifically with this Wolves team, and now they're healthy,
Yeah.
how well they, especially with this matchup with the Suns being 3 ball handling scores, how well is it gonna hold up for Gobert now that he's on a team with actual defenders on it? Like, do you like
Yeah.
for you? Do you think the Suns are gonna be able to drag Gobert out of the paint and kind of exploit that the way other playoff teams have in the
Mm,
past years? Because y'all played them last year, and
yeah. Mm, I'm trying to think because they honestly weren't able to do that much with Jokic. Because Jokic is a good defender, like he has a lot of skills, but obviously once he gets out on the perimeter, it's a little difficult for him to like keep up mobility wise. But they weren't able to do that as much as you would think. Adding Bradley Beal, I think, does because like let's say it's a swing thing, like they're swinging the ball, and Bradley Beal off like attacking closeouts is a lot different than like Eric Gordon attacking off closeouts,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
whoever they had as their third option last year. And also Grayson Allen has been really good for them lately.
He
Like he's
has.
arguably been their third best player.
Mm-hmm.
And also Nurkic is a lot better than Chalk Landale and uh, Drew Eubanks or whoever their
DeAndre
center
Ayton.
options
They
were.
didn't have a center last year.
Yeah. So I think Phoenix is better this season. In
I
some
also
ways.
think, not to cut you off, but I also think
Mhm.
like Minnesota offensively, like they take pride on the defensive end, and the way they play defense, like we just said, it's going to be hard for them to keep up with Phoenix. And offensively, I mean, how much do we trust them to be able to put the ball in the basket to match Phoenix?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
that was what I was gonna ask next because like leakers brought it. That's kind of what brought it to my attention. It's
Mhm.
like okay, even in the Suns game we were just watching, you would see like Ant or somebody at the top.
Yeah.
Then you could put 2 to him, and now there's a Gobert roll, and obviously that actually resulted in like 3-1, damn near
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
the quarter. They were, or maybe 2. I'm like, okay, in the
Mhm.
playoffs, how effective is a good team, going to let a Gobert roll or short roll be? You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
like
If they don't
that's
have
been my
Nurkic on
biggest
the court,
issue.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's been my biggest issue with any Gobert team dating back to Utah is like what he brings defensively. Sometimes in specific playoff settings, is that like
worth it?
Neutralized? Yeah, basically worth it. When on the other side, you can kind of just not really pay attention to him. I mean, you're not really afraid of getting beat by Gobert or Foles.
Yeah,
And like,
and it's not like he's a good short roll passer either or anything.
And like we were saying, he's honestly he's gonna have no choice. He's gonna have to play perimeter defense this series because not only do you have Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, and Kevin Durant, but you also have the league's best shooter percentage wise this year. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So he's gonna have to be rotating and playing some defense on the perimeter.
Because like everyone besides Nurk is a pretty like sizable threat from outside.
Yeah.
Peruvian brought a good point though. He said Cat and Nas are very good if Gobert struggles too. Because like, yeah, if that does become an issue, but then now you don't get what Gobert brings on defense because it is important.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a back and forth chess. I don't know. I think this is going 7.
Yeah. The more we talk about it, the more I think it's going 7. And also, like, to me, the Mavs, or not the Mavs, the Wolves half court offense has not been good this season. So like I struggle to see it getting better in the playoffs. And even though Phoenix hasn't been like fantastic defensively, if you give them more time to like focus in and like game plan for them, I think their defense can get better than the Wolves offense can get better. So I'm leaning Phoenix in 7 here.
And that's what I was about to say. Like, I think Phoenix, the way they play defense, a lot of traps, a lot of blitz on the ball handlers. I think, like we said, that could create a lot of problems for Minnesota because then it's like, okay, we have Gobert on a short roll making decisions. As good as Jaden McDaniels is, if he's having to make decisions for you in playoff series, you know, it can get kind of dicey there.
Yeah, it could.
I talked myself in. I talked myself into Phoenix in 7, but we'll see.
Yeah,
I'm glad we got that matchup because that one, like, that could just go a lot of ways.
Yeah, and then we have Denver, LA, which I don't think we need to spend much time.
Yeah, this is like a 4 or 5.
I say Denver in 4.
Yeah, it's like 4 or 5, whatever.
Yeah, just go ahead and give them 4, get out of the way.
Yeah.
Damn, is LeBron about to get sent in the first round again?
I mean,
and
by our
2 years in a row.
No, he went to the conference finals last year.
That's what I'm saying, but like slept 2 times in a row though.
Oh yeah.
Whatever, we ain't gonna talk about it. He's like 50. Next.
All right, Boston, Cleveland. I have
Boston in max 5.
I go 5 just because we might fuck a game off to what's his name? Dean Wade. So
Dean, yeah. Yeah, that's a very easy series for me. I don't take Cleveland seriously. I don't have them getting out of the first round, so I'm not gonna have them beating Boston. Then we got New York, Indiana.
And I guess in this scenario, I take New York. I mean,
yeah, I got New York.
Yeah,
I got New York. I think they're the way better team.
Yeah,
on the
I got
defensive
6.
end.
I got them in 5.
Yeah, I got them at 5.
Okay,
I'd say probably.
then we got Dallas, OKC. This is probably the best series of the second round.
This could, bro. This might get crazy.
Oh, this is literally, this is like 7 and flip a coin between either one. I guess I'll be able to talk about this one better after the first round if the Mavs make it out, because like now they've been cooking over the last month and a half or so. So that lineup, that rotation, and that duo of Kyrie and Luka, I wanted to see how that cooks out in a playoff series.
Yeah.
Oh man, this is literally to me like 7 either way.
I just think, like, we gotta put in perspective. This is a 50-win team that OKC's having to play. Like, you know.
Yeah.
I think there's gonna be a lot of problems on both ends for both teams, but if I'm OKC, I don't want to have to meet Luka and Kyrie in the second round.
Yeah. I don't think anyone wants to see Luka and Kyrie in any series.
Yeah, hell no. Yeah, because it's funny, like with they don't have the problem. Dallas doesn't really have the problem. The Nets had a couple of years ago when it was Kyrie and KD, and you're like, oh shit, all the shot making, but that Nets team was horribly deficient around them, and so it kind of became easy to key in on one of them. But for like Dallas, I don't know how you key in on either Luka or Kyrie to
Yeah.
kind of like take them out of a series, given
Yeah.
the support they've got around them. You can't really do that like you
Yeah.
did 2 years ago.
I think the X factor in this series is Chet, because I think Luka and SGA. I think Luka's a little better, but I think it's close enough to say like they'll kind of negate each other in a playoff series. And then Kyrie and Jalen and J Dub. Like Kyrie's probably a little better, but J Dub is a very, very good second option right now.
Mhm.
So the Thunder have that third option in Chet. The Mavs don't really have a third option. Like their third option is like Tim Hardaway. And Chet is, can he provide enough boost to his two guys to like outdo what the Mavs can do to boost their two guys?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think honestly, a big thing for Dallas as well is what you're gonna get out of PJ Washington. I think that acquisition is kind of went under the radar for what has kind of opened up for them. Having a guy like him play the 4, I mean, maybe give some small ball 5 minutes as well. Stretch the floor as well.
And also, OKC's rebounding has been an issue, and with Lively and Gafford, they've been a really solid rebounding team. And Luka
that as
also
well,
is a
like
top-tier rebounding guard.
That's always been a problem for Dallas is their center position, and they've got 2 really good centers this year.
Yeah.
Man,
I
none
think
of us made a pick.
Right, we haven't even got close to a pick.
This really is like a coin flip, because it's like you have Chet on one side, but also on the other side, Dallas has a really solid supporting cast. OKC also has a really solid supporting cast. Like Cason Wallace has been automatic from the corners this season. I think the real question for me is how many minutes is Josh Giddey playing? Because I do not trust Josh Giddey in the playoffs. And if they continue to start him, I think I have Dallas in this series. If they bench him and don't play him much, I think I might have OKC in this series.
No, Giddey. So it's basically because you don't trust him in the playoffs, because he has been playing better in the as the season.
Yeah, he has, but like people were guarding him like Ben Simmons earlier this season, and for most
they were earlier,
yeah. So like, I don't trust this type of production to hold up in the regular season. So, it really depends on how much he plays, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm gonna go Dallas, because I don't think Dagnall will bench Giddey due to like locker room politics and stuff.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go OKC in 7 with the full acknowledgement. With this one, I have no fucking clue. That is a hard one.
Yeah.
From right now, that is a hard one. But
I think I'm gonna go OKC too, because I like them a little bit more. Like, because we start going down a list of like, okay, Dallas, they got Luka, Kyrie, PJ, Gafford, Josh Green, Lively, and I look at OKC and I kind of like the way they're constructed a little bit more. I can kind of squeeze a little bit more names out. So I'm gonna go OKC in 7.
That's fair. Yeah, any pick I have in that series would have been 7. That's like the most flip a coin sort of shit that we've had in this so far. And then we have I have Denver in 5 or 6. It took Devin Booker being better than prime Michael Jordan to get 2 games off him last year. Denver isn't as good this year, but I think the starting 5, like a lot of the problems that Denver's had this season is because of the bench. And in the postseason, a bench isn't playing as much. So I think with how good the starting 5 still has been for Denver this season, I have no reason not to pick them to beat a team that they beat last year.
Yeah, I think it'll be Denver in 6. I do think though, if it goes to Game 7, I think for me, I could see a situation, because like it's 1-game scenario. That's the type of team that Phoenix is. 1-game scenario, they get hot, whatever. But I think honestly, Phoenix objectively has played Denver pretty well this year. I'm taking Denver in 6, but if it goes 7, I could see a world. But I think Denver will get this one done in 6.
I struggle to see the way that Denver loses in Game 7. Elimination game Booker is not great. And a lot of the series that the Nuggets have won in the Jokic era have been in 7. So they're used to these scenarios.
Yeah, I definitely got Denver in like 6.
Okay.
But it's funny. I did not remember at all that they won 2 games off y'all last year. I did not
Yeah.
remember that even a little bit.
No, Devin Booker averaged, I think, like 40 points a game on 80% from the field in those 2 games.
Oh, that's right. Was that the series KD couldn't really cook in?
Yep.
I
Aaron
remember.
Gordon did a good job against KD, and
That's the one thing I say about the
continue to do
Suns
that.
is they have like the most variability out of every team, just
Mhm.
because if like you get a streak even of
Yeah.
those 3 guys just being on, and then you have a shooter in Grayson Allen, like
Yeah.
they can't go from we can beat them to what the fuck. Like,
I think
Yeah.
what do we
honestly, the
do?
thing for me has been, especially like towards the end of the season, is I'm honestly not even looking at Kevin. I'm not looking at Devin Booker or even Grayson Allen.
Mhm.
I'm looking at Bradley Beal. I think
Mm.
he changes a whole lot as far as a rim pressure guy, a third option,
Mhm.
somebody they can give it to down the stretch if Katie and Book can't get going. So
Yeah.
I think if it's gonna be anything with Phoenix, it's gonna land on him.
Yeah. I think that in a Denver Phoenix series, Christian Brown closes a lot of those games over like Michael Porter
Yeah,
because he's a really really good defender. I think he
yeah,
could get in Beal's chest a little bit, get in his jersey.
that's what you need. Yeah,
Yeah. So I think Denver has the necessary like personnel to kind of not negate completely, but slow those guys down.
yeah.
Um, yeah. And then obviously they
Asher,
have Jokic and Murray.
I wanted to apologize ahead of time, but I did in fact get a banger off your Delano Banting comment. I'm sorry.
Oh wow. All
It
right,
was,
man.
it was absolutely.
just send me some of your Twitter blue check and we'll be all good.
I'll split the $5 with you.
Word sounds good. That's that's a slushy for me right there. Um, all right, and then in the Eastern Conference we got Boston versus the Knicks.
Boston in 6.
Boston 6.
I'll take Boston 7, but I give New York a puncher's chance in this one.
Yeah, I did. They definitely match up well enough to irritate us on defense, but I'm just looking at that team. I'm like, with how well Jalen Brunson has been cooking this year,
Dante.
Dante's cool, but that's what I was about to say next. I will live if we get beat if we get beat 4 times because Dante DiVincenzo provided that much relief. Like, I will live. We're not gonna let Jalen Brunson average 40, fam. That should be the mindset going into this series. Like, we have the better, more talented team. We have a defensive game plan that could, if somebody else cooks us, they cook us. But we can't lose because we let Brunson just fucking destroy us. That cannot happen.
And I think that's exactly how it's gonna go. Like, if Brunson's, he's doing his thing on the perimeter, and he's being guarded by a combination of Drew Holiday and Derek White, and he might have to meet somebody like Kristaps at the rim, or have JT or JB stunting off ball. Like, I think it's gonna be a lot to ask, especially like Dom said, you're gonna be making other players beat you for New York.
Yeah, I gotta see it. Somebody else got to be. It cannot be an efficient, high scoring series from Brunson. Somebody else got to do it. So.
I just think the New York, like, I know the memes are like power of friendship, but like I kind of get that because like, dude, they have guys who can just like give you a game, right? Like Josh Hart could go off for a game. Dante DiVincenzo has been going off like 20 plus for like a couple months at this point.
Yeah.
Like OG Anunoby can score. They have guys who can give you buckets. So I think that New York has a better chance than most people would give them in the series.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I still think you kind of have to lean Boston because of how dominant they've been in the regular season. But also you have to remember the history of like Drew Holiday struggles in the playoffs, historically speaking. Jason Tatum has kind of struggled in some big moments, right? Jaylen Brown has sometimes struggled in big moments. Not every big moment, but some. So I think they've had enough kinks in the armor to like kind of be able to predict some struggles there. So I lean Boston, but I definitely think that the Knicks have a puncher's chance.
All right, so we're on to the West.
Yep, I think Denver takes us in 6.
Same.
Yeah, I think so as
well. I don't think we've brought up like the playoff experience thing because I don't think it's as big of a deal as some people say, but it is a contributing factor, and Denver has championship experience, and this is the Thunder's like first real time in the playoffs. Shea played in his rookie season, but outside of him, it's kind of guys who, haven't been there before outside like Gordon Hayward, I think. And I just think Denver's better.
Yeah,
I mean,
and
I
also
think.
oh, go ahead. You got it. Yeah.
No, I was gonna say. I think like as far as when people say playoff experience, honestly, to me, that's just taking care of the ball, but also the looks that you're getting down the stretch, and
Yeah.
I think that's what it's gonna lead down to. I think Denver is gonna get almost whatever they want down the stretch. That's gonna be a lot to ask for Chet's first playoff matchup.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's exactly what I was about to say. It's just like because not only is that a lot for Chet for an entire series, but also
Yeah.
just in 1 or 2 games. Let's just say Chet get in foul trouble. Where does OKC go next? Like first quarter foul trouble for Chet. Who's on Jokic now? They zoning up or what? Because the zone is not going to work on Denver. That doesn't even work.
Yeah.
So, it's a tough ask right now. I've been peeping that for a while in case it materialized, and I don't think OKC is just ready for that yet.
Yeah, and like Denver and OKC have, I think OKC took the tiebreaker, but we blew them out on opening night. Then they blew us out once. Then it was a close game, and then we rested Jokic for one of the wins. So it's not like we've seen one dominate the other, this season. So, yeah.
All right, so this is gonna be a sweep actually for Boston.
Okay.
Adding their
Yeah. Sure.
Okay.
Okay.
Let me give a realistic answer. Boston to 5. Let me stop. I'm gonna let y'all go first because y'all. This is both of y'all teams, man. So I'm gonna let y'all take the stand. Whoever wants to go first.
Go ahead, Asher.
All right. Both these teams have been really, really, really good since the All-Star break, and obviously Denver, won last season. Boston has made the Eastern Conference Finals so many times. They made the finals back in 2022, and when I look back at like who they have on the roster and this season, who is going to execute down the stretch? Because this is going to be a close series. This is a series I can see going 7. This is a series I can see going 6, but every game is going to be close. This is going to be like an actual final series, unlike last year, where like we kind of all knew who was winning the finals last season. But this season, it's like an actual, okay, this is going to be close. And when I look at who has pulled out the most close series of these teams, it leans Denver. When I look at who has executed the best in the clutch this season, it's Denver. When I look at, historically speaking, who has the least amount of playoff letdowns on their roster, it's Denver. So when I look at that, I kind of lean Denver because of, just late game execution, historic like playoff execution, because Jokic and Murray are playoff risers. AG and MPJ played well in the playoffs last season. KCP is someone who's won multiple chips and is one of the most reliable shooters in the league. And Christian Brown, as a rookie, came in and Denver won Game 3 in large part because of him. And now he's got some more experience under his belt. He's kind of gotten more comfortable as the year has gone on. And then, Boston has better depth, but as I've said kind of a few times, I think depth matters less in the playoffs than most people, expect. So I lean Denver in 6 here, maybe 7, but I think it would be a close series.
Yeah, right now, just out of unbiased, I would have to go Denver, but this is why even on YouTube when I do predictions, this is why I started doing them round by round instead of from the top, because there's so much. Because a lot of what you said about Boston is right. There's so much I need to see from them, actually throughout this run before I could really say how they can behave in the finals against Denver. For instance, if we do get that first round with Miami, how do they handle that? When you play the Knicks, who I've been looking at ever since they made that trade, when you play them in a potential conference finals, how do they handle that? Does that take them 7? Is Drew Holiday still? That's there's so many X factors with them. How are they handling crunch time situations? Is Drew Holiday? Is he like Drew Holiday from the regular season, or is he Bucks Drew Holiday from the playoffs? That's all the difference right there. We can't win a series against Denver if Holiday is now just like Marcus Smart with dreads. We can't. We're not able to do it then. So I mean, from here I would have to pick Denver, but I will have an updated answer for y'all as it goes. Because if we get into a first round and we go 6 or 7 with somebody that has no business, I'll pack that shit up bright and early.
I think and me and Dom were having this conversation yesterday. I think like y'all said, I gotta see how it looks going forward. But also like for Jason Tatum, he's had a good amount of runs at this point, but
Hmm.
he's been very young. I mean, he's what is he 25, 26, So I
Yeah.
think this is gonna be a very big year for him, good or bad.
Yeah.
But I think it's just gonna be that. Like I think if he's gonna be on timing, he's really gonna be on timing. I think if he
Hmm.
underperforms, it's gonna be really bad. But I think that's honestly the key is like, okay, this is kind of the run for JT. Like we're looking at you now, like, okay, like this is it. This is your time. This is what you're supposed to do. And assuming, obviously things change in the playoffs, but if I get the Boston Celtics that I get in a regular season, that
Hmm.
obviously changes things. Um, I think right now, like I said, I'm biasly. I'd have to go Denver,
Yeah.
and I say Denver in 7. But
Okay.
I think if Boston plays like how they play in the regular season, I take Boston because I think defensively and offensively they just been almost perfect, on both sides of the ball
Hmm.
this year. So it's hard for me to bet against that, and that's assuming that you know JT comes in and has okay, this is your time. But
Yeah.
unbiasedly, I have to say, I think that Denver. If I was a bet man, I'd bet on Denver right now. Denver
Yeah.
6 or 7.
Yeah, come back to me in 2 months, basically.
Yeah.
Let's see how Boston handles the rest of this first, because that'll
Yeah.
like how they come into the series will tell me if they could win it or not. From here, it'd be nothing but bias to pick them. Hey, Leakers actually had a great idea. Leakers said, "Can y'all do one prediction for the finals with the Nuggets and Celtics getting upset from earlier?" That would actually
Okay.
be fire.
Yeah.
So
That'd
we can
be
go back
yeah.
Yeah. Sure.
and let's see,
Just
where did they get upset?
just so everyone can see the bracket,
Mhm.
here's what we have happening right now. Um, yeah, I think the most realistic spot to have them get upset is in the conference finals, probably.
Let's see. Okay, I'm looking now. Yeah, not because like unless the
Okay.
Heat put out Black Magic again for the Celtics, it would be New York, and for
Yeah.
Denver, it would be Hmm. Hold on, keep going. So yeah, Denver for the Thunder. Who do they play before that?
They played the Suns.
Because I was about to say, are we about to do a prediction for what Thunder Knicks finals?
Yeah, man, I think so. I think those will
Nah.
be the next two likely.
Because okay, let's ask this: who has a better chance of upsetting Denver? Is it
Mhm.
OKC or is it? Because technically, I think the best chance would actually be Dallas, and we didn't have Dallas make it.
Yeah.
I think it will be Dallas too because, like Dom said, I forgot who you said it, but I think you're gonna have to outscore Denver.
Hmm.
If you're gonna beat them.
So let's put Dallas in this scenario.
So we want to go back and change a prediction that has nothing to do with the Nuggets.
Yeah, let's just
That
say
we,
like in
Yep.
this
okay.
no, not
Okay.
that. Just like in this world, the Mavericks beat the Thunder and play the Nuggets in
All
the
right.
conference finals, and then they upset the Nuggets then. Because like yeah, that
Is there
Mavs
anything
the Thunder
different we
series
can
was
do with
cooking
the
me.
Knicks?
Uh, I guess so. Yeah, because like okay, this is the problem with the East, right? The
Hmm.
best next thing we could do is like change it to the Heat, who also get cooked by every West team, but then there's like the Bucks, who also are not in a good place. Like, fam,
Hey, bro. Throw
who do you
Philly in
put on?
there, bro.
Okay, fuck it. Mavs, New York. Like,
That's New York.
really? Brunson versus his old team, I guess.
I'm taking Mavs because I just can't in my mind picture a New York championship in 2024. So I'm taking the
I'll
Mavs.
tell you what it is for me with New York. New York needs one other scorer not named
Yeah.
Julius Randle outside of Jalen
Mhm.
Brunson. Like, win a championship, I feel like it would have to be a second serious guy, just not named Randle.
Yeah.
New
This
York,
would
so, like,
be a 2004 Pistons type of run where it is really like power friendship if they manage to pull this off.
mhm.
I have to lean Mavs because they have 2 stars to the Knicks 1, and star power in the playoffs is a big thing.
Yeah.
I think the Knicks just have more release valves than the Knicks,
Mhm.
so I'd probably lean the Mavs, but I'd say it Mavs in like 7, Mavs in 6, something like that. Like I think it'd be a close series.
Here's a more fun question.
Mhm.
Outside of this, so if the Nuggets get upset, if the
Right.
Nuggets and Celtics get upset, and the next best thing you put up there is like Dallas, is there an East team that you can put on this bracket that beats a West team? Like if it's not Denver. So, for instance, if you went Mavs Heat, people go on Mavs. You go Bucks Mavs, people probably go on Mavs. Knicks Mavs, people go on Mavs. So like, is there even another East team you could put up here that wins a
No.
semi?
I'm not taking any East team outside of Boston to beat the Mavs.
Yeah. I think the Knicks are my second like East team in any matchup, and I think they could beat like the Wolves. I think they could beat the Wolves, the Suns, the Clippers, the Lakers, and Pelicans. I have a hard time seeing them beat the Mavs, Thunder, or Nuggets.
Here's a fun one. Leaker said, what if it was Mavs Celtics? Let's say Nuggets get upset, but Celtics don't get upset. That's probably the better question because
Okay.
we gonna have a hell of a time in these playoffs if both of them get upset. It's gonna get nasty.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, y'all both y'all can't show up. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, it got to be one of us. Like it can't.
No. My team's got a chip. I can show up regardless.
That's fair. That's fair.
Um,
I'm taking Boston here.
Yeah, I'm still taking Boston.
Yeah, I take Boston in 6.
Okay, and then you had like
this just goes to show like the power balance in the West. Like that's why the West interests me so much. But we have almost 6 teams with 50 wins. That's almost unheard of, bro.
Yeah, there would be 5 50-win teams, 2 with 49 wins.
Are the Suns beating every other Eastern team outside of Boston? So if you put the Suns up here,
No.
And you take Boston out and put
No.
So what?
Knicks would win.
So you
Knicks
got
would win
Suns,
the series.
Bucks, Suns, Heat, and I guess Suns, Philly.
I think the Knicks are the only one that would beat them like handily in the series, but I think they beat them.
It's gonna be interesting.
The Bucks beat them. I don't think the Bucks beat the Suns.
I just need. That's what I keep. It's kind of the similar thing I was saying about how I just need to see Boston through the playoffs. Now I need to see, with the Bucks. Like, okay, Dame has clearly taken a step back during the regular season. Does that carry over into the playoffs? We're gonna come here and it's just gonna be like mid Dame because if it is, then there's just zero chance the Bucks actually make a run.
Yeah.
Questions.
Mind you, we're asking this question about a team we have being upset in the first round.
Y'all had being upset in the first round. I had Milwaukee coming out, but we just don't have any.
But you also had
it
going 7, so
yeah, I would say that's mainly because of just not knowing anything about Giannis. Even if he comes back, how
same here.
Yeah, I just don't know.
Giannis was fully healthy and 100%. I'm taking Bucks in 6, but assuming he's not 100% and he misses like a game, I'm taking Patriots.
Yeah, leakers. If because like Heat fans like Crimson need to know that if Miami does black magic to make the finals again, just so they can predictably lose, I'm banning all Heat fans from chat. So that's just good to know because y'all cannot keep making it to the finals just to get predictably beat. I'm sick. We're all sick. We demand change.